We are seeing, and you've partially answered this question with some of your wins projections about sizing up the schedule versus USC talent, plus a few deficiencies held over from the 21 season, i.e., the defense and as a whole. And certainly check out the videos that we posted with Matt. We ran through every position unit, offense and defense, as they look coming out of spring practice here. Where would you rank this team, regardless of schedule, taking into account these huge gains in talent, where we're looking at the number one transfer portal team in the nation with 15 commits, and there are 15 quality commits, but they had a lowly rated recruiting class, not because of the talent of the team, but they only had 8 commits. You throw it all together, they're number 9 in the composite in terms of rankings for 2022. Where do you think this team stacks up nationally among the top 25 teams or so?
Yeah, so, taking USC out of the Pac-12, which, again, has been a down conference in recent years, and that's why I'm high on USC in terms of its schedule. But if you take that schedule and the Pac-12 specific piece out of the puzzle, Mark, I'd say that USC is probably top 15. I'd say that's about right for how this program stacks up on a national level, because the established powers, especially in the SEC and Big Ten, like they have the machine rolling. They know exactly what they're about. They know exactly what they need to do. And they're a notch better, I think, than USC is. I mean, that's where USC's depth, or lack thereof, more precisely, would put the Trojans at a real disadvantage compared to the Ryan Days and Kirby Smarts and Nick Sabans, who have, that established pipeline, who are able to just regularly reload. Like Lincoln Riley isn't really reloading. He's trying to just build something from scratch, build it from the transfer portal. That's where Clay Helton's damage to the program would show up. So I'm reluctant to say USC is a top 10 program, but I think top 15 is about right. And I do put USC at the top of the Pac-12 because, again, and this is not a slight against Utah. It's just a reflection of the competition that you go against. That Utah crushed Oregon twice last year because Oregon was significantly flawed at quarterback and other key positions. We've talked a lot here on the Voice of College Football about Pac-12 quarterback play being really bad in 2021. And so USC getting the instant upgrade with Caleb Williams, and you marry him with Lincoln Riley's savvy as a play caller. And that is just such a massive instant upgrade in quality that it's going to lift USC above all the other programs in the Pac-12 conference. Nationally, but the superpowers in the various other conferences, with the possible exception of Clemson, USC is definitely below those programs. And just while we're on that subject, I mean, there are a few more interesting comparisons than USC and Clemson, because you have Clemson with like the infrastructure and the depth that USC lacks, but then USC has the quarterback play that Clemson lacks. And it's going to be a really big point of intrigue this year if Dabo can solve the yips problem for DJ Uiagalelei. And so, like, when you put USC and Clemson together, it's like the yin and the yang. That USC has what Clemson lacks, Clemson has what USC lacks, but they both aren't complete teams because they both have that one glaring deficiency. Imagine a team with all the depth of Clemson up front and Caleb Williams. Imagine, USC, on the other side of the divide. It's just really fascinating to put those two programs together if we're into national comparisons for college football this coming season.
Yeah, Clemson had a top 3 or 4 defense in the country last year, and unlike Georgia, they didn't get ripped to shreds. And I don't even expect Georgia's play on defense to suffer much, and that's ridiculous to think about losing the kind of talent that they did. But Clemson retained their talent on defense, but can that just remarkable defense lift an offense where DJ was marginal at best, to be kind? The offensive line.
He was Rick Ankiel. He was Chuck Knobloch. Just couldn't
yes.
throw the ball.